Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Nicole, Russo. Welcome to the Spa Babies edition for Wednesday, July the 17th. We're going to take a look at race number 3 at Saratoga, kickoff leg of the 50-cent pick 4. Here's the field. We're going 5.5 furlongs on the main track. These are 2-year-old filly New York breds. All 8 of them, Nicole, are first-time starters, 3 of them by first crop stallions.
Yeah, and this is already developing into an exciting freshman sire race this year. And we're going to see some of the top representatives in that class to date in this race. So, a lot of pedigree analysis can come with first time starters. A lot of workout analysis can benefit you with first time starters. Make sure you're picking up the Clocker reports out daily on DRF.com from our colleague Mike Welsh and his team for some insight, not just into how fast these horses are working, and there are some fast works in this field, but into how they're doing it, who they're working with, etc.
The number 1 is Viamente, and this is the morning line favorite, probably because of the sire. First crop stallion Vacoma has gotten off to a white-hot start. 8 for 18 with debut runners, and Viamente shows a bullet workout out of the gate at Saratoga for trainer Joe Sharp.
Yeah, and Vacoma, 11 winners overall from 20 starters overall this season among the leaders of this freshman class. No surprise that they're good at 2. He was a graded stakes winner at 2, graded stakes winner at 3, and then a multiple grade 1 winner around 1 turn as an older horse. They're fast, they're precocious. This one's going to have to get away well from the rail under Luis Saez, and circle her, because I wouldn't be surprised to see her on turf at some point down the road for Joe Sharp. Vacoma by Candy Ride, I think he's going to have the potential to be a good turf sire as well. And the Dam, a multiple winner on the turf.
Number 2 is Bubby Dearest. This one is by Vino Rosso and appears to have some speed on the bottom of her pedigree. Now, she's gone through the auction ring 3 times, a $48,000 buyback earlier this year after breezing a furlong in 10 seconds flat at the sale. The Dam was a sprint winner on the dirt. She's a half to grade 3 stakes winning turf sprinter, Chaos Theory. Michael Maker trains Bubby Dearest, and interesting pedigree with Vino Rosso on top.
Really interesting pedigree. Vino Rosso, I expected them to be at their best as they matured and with distance. And he really surprised me by siring some very good and very quick 2-year-olds last year to be among the leading freshmen, including the Wine Steward. And this one has some sprint ability on both the dirt and turf on the bottom side of her family to balance out kind of that long-winded Curlin line.
Michael Maker trains the 2 Bubby Dearest, as well as the 3 Lightning Mama. This is a daughter of Bolt Dioro, who does very well with 2-year-old first-time starters, clicking at 17%. And there is speed and precocity on the bottom of this pedigree. The second Dam was a debut winner that ended up being multiple stakes placed. The Dam is a half to a multiple stakes winning dirt sprinter.
Yeah, just some terrific New York breds in this family, a Freud of Mama and Mama Teresa, who you mentioned. Boldoro was the leading freshman sire a couple of years ago, and now we're in potentially his quieter years before the crops he produced as a result of that early success start coming through the pipeline. So I think it'll be interesting to see what his 2-year-olds do this year.
You're right about the New York bred quality in this family. It's the family of Haynesfield, who was a grade 1 stakes winner going long on the dirt. The 4 is Trail of Gold. This filly sold very well as a yearling. She sold for only $15,000 as a short yearling, but then the Solomini filly went for 6 figures, going for $100,000 later that year. This is a pretty strong family from the Phipps family. The second Dam's a grade 1 stakes winning synthetic router.
Yeah, and a lot of 2-turn ability in this family. Solomini, a promising young sire in New York, was the leading freshman last year, and he has some runners doing well against open company as well. He was really bred to be a stallion, being by Curlin from the female family of Frosted. I like the nice long work tab for this one to put some bottom in her for debut, and I like Johnny Velasquez aboard for the debut.
Velasquez does take them out. I wonder if she might want a little bit more ground than the 5.5 furlongs, although the Dam is also a half to a 2-year-old stakes place synthetic sprinter named Rotary. The 5 is Pawtucket Shuffle, a first-time starter for trainer Horacio De Paz. Flavian Pratt picks up the mount. This is a daughter of Thousand Words, a first-crop stallion that's gotten off to a really nice start, Nicole, 4 for 16 with 2-year-old first-time starters.
Yeah, and those include a pair of stakes winners already. Thousand Words, the sire of debutante winner Vodka with a Twist at Churchill, and Schuylerville winner the Queen's MG on opening day at Saratoga. Thousand Words was a graded performing juvenile himself, now one of the leading freshman sires. Another one with a nice longer work tab on debut for a trainer that can have them pop sometimes. And Flavian Pratt, who you mentioned, coming off an incredible weekend at Saratoga.
The number 6 is Practically Summer, going out for the strong trainer jockey combination of Bill Mott and Junior Alvarado, a $145,000 yearling by Practical Joke, who wins 15% with 2-year-old first time starters. Lots of class and stamina on the bottom of this pedigree. The dam, who did win her debut sprinting on dirt and has foaled 4 winners, she's a half to Zevo, a grade 2 stakes winner.
Yeah, Zevo, a terrific horse, and you can still see him around sometimes as a pony for Sherry DeVoe here in New York. And Practical Joke, I've mentioned before, he's really an underrated stallion, a great multiple grade 1 winning son of Into Mischief, came along in the same sire class as Young Phenom Gun Runner and as Arrogate, who has done so much with his only crops. Because of that, Practical Joke has kind of been overshadowed, even though he's really been in lockstep with the two of them every step of the way and has 9 career grade or Group 1 winners to date.
Now, Bill Mott isn't exactly known for winning first time out, but he does win with these horses. We have a formulator fact for Bill, and this is for the past 5 years, 2-year-old first time starters, stake bred maiden special weights on dirt. It's a fairly remarkable statistic for the Hall of Famer. 33%, a $5.65 ROI. It's a nice trainer stat for the 6. Practically Summer. Bellicose is the 7, Nicole. This is a daughter of Audible, and Bellicose sold for $82,000 as a yearling. The Audibles usually need a race or two, but it's nice to see that there is some precocity on the bottom of this pedigree.
Definitely. And, I think you're right on with the Audibles needing a race or two. They're nice athletic horses, but they do seem to need to take that time to get their feet wet. A lot of interesting things in the second generation of this pedigree that I noted. Audible, of course, by Into Mischief, just mentioned him with Practical Joke, an emerging sire of sires. And Uncle Mo, a 2-year-old champion, starting to emerge as a broodmare sire with leading 3-year-old filly Torpedo Anna to his credit this year.
The third dam of Bellicose is a grade 3 stakes winning dirt router, and while Audible's first time starters often need a race, that's not the case for babies trained by Jeremiah Engelhardt, who's already off to a hot start with his 2-year-olds at the Spa. Over the past 3 years, with 2-year-old first time starters in stake bred maiden special weight dirt sprints at Saratoga. Jeremiah's 5 for 11, $4.29 ROI. Keep an eye on Bellicose. Manny Franco takes the mount. The 8 is Alani. This gray filly is the first starter by Killybegs Captain. Let's tell the folks a little bit about Killybegs Captain. He was a pretty decent little sprinter.
Oh, he was. He was a rock solid racehorse by Mizzen Mast, just a sire of racehorses, out of a mare by Holy Bull. And Holy Bull is noteworthy here because he's a good broodmare sire of stallions, horses like Munnings, Cairo Prince out of his daughters. Killybegs Captain won 7 of 26 starts, earned more than $500,000 while racing into his 5th season. He was stakes placed going longer, but was a pretty darn good sprinter, as you said. Won the grade 3 DeFrancis Dash at Laurel, was multiple graded placed in New York, including a good 3rd in the Forgo behind Matoli and Firenze Fire. Ultimately, I think his offspring will be able to go either 1 or 2 turns, depending on the broodmare profile, but I do think that they're going to be later developing.
Nice versatility from this female family. You see the dam's a half to a graded stakes winning synthetic sprinter, a half to a stakes winning dirt router. She's also a half to a multiple stakes place dirt sprinter. Melanie Gidding sent out a live 2-year-old first time starter over the weekend that finished 2nd in the debut. Let's take a look at our top selections for our Wednesday Spa Baby race. You're going with Pawtucket Shuffle, the number 5. Thousand Words has gotten off to a nice start, and Horacio De Paz has had a very strong year.
Yeah, and you know what? It was very close between my top two picks, Pawtucket Shuffle and Trail of Gold. I liked similar things about them, both with a nice long work tab to give them foundation in this field of first time starters, both from barns that can pop at a price with 2 year olds, both with terrific riders at Saratoga aboard them. Ultimately, what kind of split the difference for me there was that Pawtucket Shuffle. I just think there's a little more precocity in the pedigree. You mentioned Thousand Words off to a terrific start. I thought there was more speed in the female family, whereas Trail of Gold might need a little bit more ground, but it was very close between my top two selections here.
I'm all aboard the Vacoma train. It hasn't slowed down just yet, and we'll see if it can keep going at Saratoga. The one Viamente shows a bullet work out of the gate, but Nicole made a very good point. This filly must break sweetly from the inside post, or else she's going to take dirt and be shuffled back, and we know a lot of the babies just don't like that. 5418 for Nicole, 1827 for me. It's Wednesday's Spa Baby Race, race number 3, the kickoff leg of a 50-cent pick 4. Good luck.